Who is New Zealand's best ever Prime Minister?
I'd have to say John Key.
Yeah, I'd agree with you on that one.
Saturday night can be a bit difficult. Yeah.
What's the optimum population for New Zealand?
Oh, it's got to be linked to infrastructure and the economy. And so, maybe at the moment we can afford to bring in, 1% of our total population each and every year.
House prices up, down, or stay the same?
You want them going up just very steadily and slowly, and we also need to make them much more affordable. So
compared to inflation?
We really want to be able to make sure we get young people into housing. So it's got to be, we've got to slow the rate of growth of house growth up big time, and actually be able to get people into it. So it's a bit of a tricky. It's not an easy thing to say.
Question, yeah.
It is an easy question in the sense of I want slow, steady house appreciation and growth, but I want to do that that's consistent with wage growth.
Should New Zealand become a republic?
I think it will in due course, but not maybe in my time in politics or maybe my lifetime even.
Should the world have nuclear weapons?
No.
Sugar tax?
No.
Plastic tax?
No.
Compulsory te reo in schools?
No, but the problem is that we should be investing more in getting te reo teachers. We're short te reo teachers, and it should be optional, but actually the real thing we put focus behind is getting the teachers in place.
Should we ban alcohol sponsorship of sports teams?
No.
Should police permanently carry handguns?
No. That is something that is, I think, it's ultimately a decision for the police to make as to how they feel safe. But essentially, from my point of view, if we can continue to have high trust between the police and the communities without guns, but if they need access to guns, they need to happen very quickly as well.
Should minimum wage be a living wage?
Well, I'm not so sure about that. We want again consistent, regular increases in minimum wages. But the best thing to do is to actually grow the economy so we lift wages for all.
Should prisoners have the right to vote?
Personally, I don't think they do. I think you break the contract with your fellow New Zealanders and you've caused pain and suffering and hurt to someone, and there's a reason why you're in prison. I'm personally not up for that.
Should the threshold for MMP be below 5%?
No.
If you can give a knighthood to one New Zealander, who would it be?
I don't want to say, but there's a lot of people I'm thinking of. Who actually are often unsung heroes doing amazing work in community organisations, frankly, that have done some incredible work.
Are you on TikTok?
Yes, I am.
One All Black that missed out from the squad. Any standouts for you?
No, I was actually really happy with this squad. Actually, I'll tell you what, if Ian Foster wins the World Cup, he should get the knighthood. That's actually how it should go down.
Was calling Jacinda Cindy derogatory?
Yeah, I think it was.
Should there be diversity quotas in Parliament?
No.
Is it realistic to have 0 homeless people?
I think it should be very much our ambition in New Zealand in a modern 21st century country.
What person, living or dead, would you most want to have dinner with?
I would probably go with Winston Churchill, Martin Luther King, and someone who I got to know a little bit just over an evening was Madeleine Albright, and she's recently passed last year in 2022, and I'd really like to spend a bit of time with her talking about her life and history.
Who's someone from the opposite side of the political spectrum you admire?
Well, I came in 2020, and someone like Barbara Edmonds and Rachel Brooking are two MPs on their side that I think are good people and doing a good job.
If you're in the States in 2016, would you have voted for Clinton or Trump?
I'm not going to say, because I have to work with any political leader the Americans give me in the future, and I'll work with whoever it is to advance New Zealand's interests.
Should we look at a nitrate tax for nitrate runoff, both in urban and a rural setting?
I don't think so. I think we've got to get those broader agricultural emissions policies in place, and let's see how we go with all that.
Role of the UN, increase, decrease, or stay the same?
About the same, but it's pretty ineffective if I'm honest with you at the moment. We are a country that relies on multilateral relationships and organisations like the UN. That's been pretty ineffective if we're honest.
Cool, Chris Luxon, thanks so much for your time. Really
Yeah,
appreciate
awesome.
it.
Thanks so much, guys. It was really good.
Thank you.
Enjoyed it. Well done.
Cool.